Hello everyone, Lovery here then from Below Par. So today then we're comparing a box set to a second-hand set of golf clubs. Which one is best for you to buy? So in this video we're going to run through all the pros and cons of the second-hand set or box set, and we'll start to hopefully give you a better idea as to what it is that you should buy for yourself. So if you enjoyed the sound of today's video, or you've watched any of our previous videos and you've enjoyed them, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're offering so much free advice at the moment in terms of coaching, product advice, product reviews. So do make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with everything we're doing and to keep watching our videos. So then, the big question. You're new to golf, do you buy a box set or do you buy a second-hand set of golf clubs? Both have their pros and both have their cons. Let's talk about it. Let's start with our shiny new box set. Now these are incredibly appealing. £239, you get a golf bag, you get all your clubs, you've got all your woods, matching head covers, you've got all your irons, you've got your wedges, you've got your putter. All you would then need to go on the golf course, a pair of golf shoes, some balls and some tees, you're ready to go. It is as simple as that. Now the positives, you know that all the clubs were made at the same time in terms of they're all going to match lengthwise, they should all match weight-wise. The whole set is designed to work together, so the gapping should be roughly correct. All the lofts are going to match throughout the set. The grip sizes are going to be the same. The grips are all going to be brand new. And you get a nice shiny new golf bag. So there's loads of reasons there as to why a box set would be really tempting. Now let's look at a second-hand set of irons. What are the positives you're going to get for that? A better name, potentially a better build quality over the box set, because if you're buying a set of irons that were £600, now are £200, and then you've got a box set 239, yes, obviously the quality is going to be higher on the second-hand set of clubs. Let's then start to look at the cons. So the con of a box set. They don't come with a wide variety of options. So let's say you have come from a background of, baseball or particularly sporty, tennis, those sorts of things. You're probably going to be quite strong and quite athletic and quite quick. Now a box set, the shafts are pretty much a regular shaft. You're not going to be able to get your stiff or your different weight adjustments. So you are slightly limited in terms of what the offering is. It's designed to get somebody into the game. So if you're particularly athletic, they might not be where you want to go to begin with. Another con then of a box set is the inability to change the lie angle of the golf clubs. Now box sets, to keep the cost down, they are cast. So what this means is they're put into a mold, hot metal's poured in, and they are literally cast out of that, and that's how they make the head. Now what that means is you can't bend the heads, you can't change the lie angle. So if the lie angle doesn't suit you, let's say you're exceptionally tall or exceptionally short, as an example, and you've had to change the length of the golf club, and then you would want to change the lie angle to match the length, you're not able to do that. So it's something just to be aware of. One of the last things then with a box set, often they're not the best quality golf clubs in the world. Now you can understand that obviously for the price at $239. I'm not saying they're terrible, but if you're somebody that has a good sporting background and you're particularly sporty, so quite naturally sporty, and you start to get quite good quite quickly, they're not going to last a long period of time. But on the flip side of that, they're not an overly expensive first purchase into golf. So for somebody perhaps that wants to try the game, they're not sure if they're going to enjoy it, but they want to go out and play a few rounds with their mates, or they need it for work. That was something we used to see a lot. They've got a golf corporate day, they need a set of golf clubs that they can bring out every once so often. Fab, they are literally going to be your go-tos, because at £239, they can sit in the shed. You haven't got to look after them too much. They can come out, play, put them back again. Done. Nice and easy. If we then compare it to the negatives that you can have with a second-hand set of golf clubs off the shelf. Now, this now depends really on where you're buying them from. One of the key things is you want to be fitted for your second-hand set of irons, ideally, if you're buying off the shelf. Now, what I would say is I would ask to be fitted first before actually buying any off the shelf. So go into a studio, have a hit, start to get an idea as to what is it that you need. Do you need a stiff shaft? Do you need a regular shaft? Do you need a senior shaft? Do you prefer a heavier or lighter shaft? Do you need a graphite shaft? Do you want a bigger head to try and get more height? Do you want a smaller head for more shot shaping? That's very generic, but you see what I'm getting at. Do you need thick grips, thin grips? What is it that you need? Once we establish what you need, we can then start to apply what's on the second-hand shelf to you. So what you're buying then matches into you. Some places, and this is where I'm going with this kind of point in terms of negatives, and some sets you can't adjust. So for example, the Lionel, again, because it's cast, you can't bend it. So that lovely set of Ping second-hand irons that you had your eyes on might not suit you. Don't then go and buy them if they don't suit you. You will make your life miserable when you're out on the golf course. So don't go for those. Other things that you can't change in a second-hand set. You can't change how the previous owner has treated them. You don't know what the previous owner has done before to sell them. There's numerous things people can do if they know how to make a set of golf clubs look nice and shiny to get decent value for it, but then the next person probably isn't going to quite get as good a deal as what they think. Equally, things like the grips. Very often on second-hand sets, the grips can need replacing. They can be a bit shiny. That's your go-to. If the grips are shiny, they need replacing. Try and get that worked into the price of the set that's on there. Try and find a way to do a bit of a deal with that. Or maybe you're getting the grips at cost or something if you're buying these second-hand sets. Other things to look out for is just remember that when you're buying a second-hand set, your second-hand set of golf clubs, that is purely just the set of irons you're buying. That's not then the woods. That's not the bag, the putter, the wedges. Or the last thing really to look out for the second-hand set is just making sure that when you get the set of clubs, that you then match in the other clubs in the set. Now that applies to a little bit more advanced players maybe than just beginners, but it's something worth doing if you can do it early. That's a good structure for when you're getting better at the game, is that let's say you have 5 to pitching wedge in the second hand set, you then might want to add a sand wedge in there, and then you might look at something like a 3 hybrid, then a 5 wood, for example. That just means that your set now is going to start matching in together. Just be careful when you're getting the irons that you get your distances on them. And yes, then okay, we're getting a little bit advanced now, but you get your distances and then you can use that then to help buy the clubs around it. So it does give you a bit more individuality when you're buying these second-hand sets off a shelf, but it does also come with a little bit more risk that the clubs you buy to match in might not work in perfectly compared to how they would out of a box set. So then, I guess you probably will want to know, what would I go for? Would I go for a box set or a second-hand set? Now, the problem is just those pros and cons. I think if I was somebody that didn't play golf regularly, I didn't have a massively sporting background, so I hadn't played a load of sort of racket sports or ball sports, and I didn't have many friends that played golf, and I was going on my own to try this, I would go for a box set. It would just mean that I don't have a huge investment into the game. I have some clubs that are decent value and aren't going to lose much value. They're all brand new. They're going to be as neat and tidy as I keep them. Lastly, they're going to be the same each time I pull them out, and actually they're going to put me in a really good setup for when I get on the course. When I get on the course, I can trust my equipment. I know there's not a problem. I know everything works, I know it's all okay, I've hit it, I'm happy. They're designed for me at that ability, and I think that's the point, they're designed for me at that beginner's level to go and play, with the awareness that in the long run I can start to upgrade them a bit. Let's flip that on the other side. Let's imagine that I'm an athletic person, I've played a few racket sports before, I played to high level, I've got a lot of friends that play golf, I've given it a go before and I've really enjoyed it, and know I'm definitely going to play. Then maybe jump to the second-hand set, but know that you are going to be spending a lot more than what you would on a box set. But if we spoke about the generic average person in the UK, I probably would push them towards a box set to begin with, just because everything is all together and brand new. Now, the ones that I would recommend to buy, now there's quite a few on the market. I would say don't go bottom end, don't go really cheap. There are some box sets like 100 quid. I would avoid those if you can. They're not brilliant and the quality is not going to be great, and you're probably not going to enjoy it as much if you went for something a little bit more premium. Equally, they might not last as long. The grips probably aren't as good in the wet. There's a couple of things there that aren't going to go. The bags might not be as good, might fall apart. So I would probably go, there's a Wilson box set. I'll put a link in the description That would personally is where I go. I think it's called like an XV 1200 or 1200 XV, something like that. And they are exceptional. Something we used to sell a lot of, and they're very, very good. And I've taught people using those before, and they've enjoyed them, and they've said they're great, and they've actually kept them normally for 1.5 years before upgrading anything in the bag, which is pretty cool. So that would be my kind of recommendation for box set. In terms of secondhand set, it's impossible for me to recommend what you should go for, but I would highly recommend getting fitted before you buy. So guys, that's my video then as to if you go a brand new box set or second-hand set. Hopefully I've summed up all the points there. If there's anything I've missed or you've got any questions, please do drop it down below. I've made sure I'm replying to everybody now in the comments, so you will get a response. So just let me know down below if you have any questions at all, and we will be sure to get back to you. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.